get this in from Milwaukee. The candidates have just completed their walkthroughs. What they're able to do is go through, check everything, make sure they're comfortable on stage. So far, no complaints about the green rooms and the chocolate M&Ms and which colors they wanted and the Evian water showers. Okay, so anyway, that's happened with the star filter shot. We are just over 3 hours away from the first two Republican presidential debates right here on the Fox Business Network in Milwaukee. But why Wisconsin? Now, the state's gone blue in each of the last 7 presidential elections. The GOP hoping to break that cycle in 2016, partly by grabbing the attention of Governor Scott Walker. It's been now 7 weeks since he left the race, got out, had to drop out. But at least 3 candidates have been banging on his door for support. Those candidates, Jeb Bush, Marco Rubio, and John Kasich. I'm bringing in now Governor George Allan. He's the former Republican governor and senator of Virginia, along with Governor Evan Bayh. He's the former Democratic governor and senator of Indiana, also a Fox News contributor. Welcome to you both. And Governor Allan, to you first. Governors are underperforming. They're underperforming in this race. Right. And yet they're the ones who are known to have balanced budgets and to have governed. What's going on? We have Kasich, Bobby Jindal. Listen, you have Governor Bush. I mean, what's going on here that they're underperforming?
They are underperforming, and it is surprising. Usually you like folks who have a good record of performance, and governors have to make decisions, lead, balance budgets, and get people to work together. But it seems like in the Republican, at least those who are polled presently, they're looking for people who are outside of government, whether not even a governor, not even as senators. When you look at who the top 2 right now are folks who never served. Carly does well as well, and she's never served, although she did run for the U.S. Senate. So I think this particular debate is crucial. I think all the others are, to use football analogies, are like organized team activities. This is a real intra-squad scrimmage tonight where they're going to be focused on their records and their ideas that are hopefully coherent ideas that can motivate people and say, yeah, those are darn good ideas. Those are good reform solutions, make our country more competitive and create more job opportunities. And whether somebody's a governor or senator or never served before, people are looking for leadership with integrity that can get this country reaching its full potential.
Leadership, but also a realistic plan, correct, Governor Bayh? You can't just get up on stage and come up with a great idea. Look, Donald Trump has been a person who does that extremely well. But then where's the beef, to steal from the Wendy's commercial? You've got to make sure that it is realistic. It certainly hits a populist nerve and people like it. But don't you need tonight, as a candidate on that stage, to come through with solid steak and potatoes?
Liz, ultimately you do. I think what we've been through here is the sort of send them a message part of the campaign where people are mad at Washington, they're frustrated. And
Which is understandable.
Yeah, of course. They want to vent their anger, and you're seeing that with some of the front runners right now. But eventually when they get down to actually choosing a president, and particularly in a state like New Hampshire, which is famous for sort of Iowa has a role to play, yes, but New Hampshire in particular, they're sort of flinty and independent up there. And as you say, they want to see the beef. How does this add up? Matter of fact, I was at a function last month up there in Manchester and had a chance to see the Donald in action. And he was doing fine. But at one point, the crowd actually started chanting, how?
Oh, really?
Really.
Okay.
And that crowd had been specifically chosen to be more independent swing voters. And so they wanted to know exactly what you were saying and what George was saying. Credibility, how does this add up? And when they focus on that, perhaps some of these governors will have a chance to break through.
Well, that would be, for example, Christie, Governor Chris Christie. George Allan, do you think that he's been he's a fast talker. He's a Jersey guy. He was on our network just a couple of days ago, and he was articulating very quickly what appeared to be a narrative that could stick with voters. But yet he, too, is not exactly resonating in the polls. Again, I stress it's early.
Yeah, and he did very well, I thought, in the last debate, as did Marco Rubio. I would look in this debate, the 2 governors that will be on the, not in the JV one, but the top one.
They're both important here, of course.
Of course, they both are important, and I think Governor Christie and Governor Jindal and others will do well. But I think the one in the 9 o'clock debate, I think Governor Kasich, this is where I think he's at the edge of the stage. he's going to have to break through. Governor Bush obviously has a record, and a lot of people know him and know his family. So I would think that these governors on these economic issues, where Evan knows states compete with one another, and they understand how tax and regulatory and education and energy policies, right-to-work laws, all those sort of issues that make a place more conducive for investment and jobs, help in manufacturing, help in competitive. Yeah, and they govern, and that's where I think governors, whether it's in the JV or the main card, can make that coherent statement, and they can say, here's what happened in my state, and that could help.
Governor Bayh, what will get you sitting on the edge of your seat, getting closer to the TV? What will matter most to you tonight?
I think what most Americans are looking for, Liz, is how do we grow the economy, and in particularly, how do we generate better wages, better paying jobs? That's what I hear over and over again from ordinary people. And so a credible program for actually getting that done, I think is what most Americans will be looking for, and that's what I'll be looking for. All these sort of, I know your network, this network won't do gotcha questions and that kind of thing, but you know, the sort of the pre-designed moment to stand out on that night's news, I'm not so interested in that, and I think most Americans aren't either. It's the substance, and particularly on the economy, that I think most people are looking for.
Well, we won't have to ask. We won't have to hear the chance.
One final thing. How do you get these folks in Washington to work together? We all understand they're Democrats, Republicans, liberals, and conservatives, but surely they must be able to cooperate on some things to move us forward. And who is best equipped among these people to get us there?
Well, governors have always worked together, and nobody will have to chant how, because our anchors are going to be on it as moderators. Former Governors Evan Bayh and George Allan. George, great to see you. Come up to New York sometime. We'd love to have you.
Or come down here to Virginia. It would be good. Evan, good to see you, and good luck to you, and especially your bride, Susan.
Always a pleasure, my friend, and likewise to you.
Aw.